we have Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition announced out of nowhere. There's a few you could argue, like Ryan from the Bronx and others out there that maybe teased we were going to get this. But yeah, look.
You know why it was out of nowhere for me is because I saw that the tweet went out at 9:03 a.m. for me Central Time. And at 9 on the dot, I was refreshing to see if anything was going to happen, switch to or whatever. And then 9:01, I like put my phone back on the desk. I was like, oh, whatever. And then like later on, I just opened it up and I had so many Discord pings. I was like, what happened? What happened? And yeah. Well, yeah. When I saw the box art, I thought it was another like piece of fan art putting the Switch logo at the top left.
Oh, sure. Understandable, especially since there was a wide belief we may never see this game come back. So having it come back is awesome. So guys, it's coming out March 20th of 2025. Not what my notes say. My notes say 24. I'm an idiot. I'll get the trailer up here, play for in a moment here. I forgot to upload it. But this is where like what's cool about this topic is I don't really have to say a whole lot because we got two of the biggest Xenoblade fanboys on this show. To my left, your guys is right.
Hey, I'll take over your show.
Yeah, let's start with Chugaaconroy, man. You take over.
Okay. All right. Been prepared for this. Okay. All right. So I found out about this. I was tired and I fell back asleep, and I had my phone ring, and it was my girlfriend, and she's like, I was like, what, did you butt dial me? And she's like, no, you need to get on Twitter right now or I can tell you. And I'm like, okay. And then I open it up and I'm like, excuse me, which is what I tweeted in response to it. I didn't feel like I was looking at something that was real because it's just always been that one game that people have bought Wii U's for, and it was like the big reason to still own one and everything like that. And in interviews they kept saying like, well, we don't have the funding to do a port of it, unfortunately. We'd like
Takahashi said that like maybe almost 5 or 6 years back now. Shows how far they've come since then.
I'm guessing it's just that the series became a mega million seller and they want to slap the name on anything they can because I think Xenoblade 2 sold like 4 million copies. Like it sold way over.
Around 3 million, I think, which is like exceptional for a JRPG on only one system.
Yeah, it did really well, and it's just I think like a lot of Japanese games are like getting the attention that they deserve now because like Fire Emblem does really well, Persona does really well outside of Japan. Like a lot of games.
Metaphor is the fastest selling game for Atlas so far. Yeah.
I guess do you have like anything that you want improved for it over the Wii U? Or did you play the Wii U version?
I actually recently beat the Wii U version, literally like this June. I rolled credits on it. I saw the cliffhanger ending and all that. So of course we're gonna get like closure to that.
Imagine living with that cliffhanger for 10 years and that's all you get.
Oh like, God, I'm so glad I didn't have to.
Such an unsatisfying conclusion that the gamers of now will not have to deal with.
Yeah, I was playing this game on and off for the past 2 years. Like I started it before Xenoblade 3 came out. And I was just playing it off and on, took many breaks, and I finally beat it this year. But I think for me, the biggest thing I want improved is just the overall user experience. Like those menus, I feel like I've spent like literally hours just in those menus. If they like design them a lot better, have better navigation and better like just overall structuring of those menus, I think it'll go a long way because this is pretty funny, actually. I didn't realize you could set augments on your gear until like maybe 15, 20 hours into the game because it doesn't even show you that the X button is to set your augment. I'm like, that's a big deal.
There's so many steps involved with customizing your characters, and you have so many of them that frequently I just wouldn't customize characters if I was just bringing them in for like one quest.
And you have like... I don't remember how many party members there are in the game, but there's a lot because of 20. How many affinity missions you do. You keep swapping that. Oh, also like make it easier to get party members back on your team because I hate those hangout spots in NLA. I can never find them.
I can't. like the thing is that it wouldn't be so bad if their hangouts didn't change based on like whether you qualify for a heart to heart or at a certain point in the story.
Oh my god,
There's
those are so
many
annoying.
I knew people who thought that they were soft locked because like Lynn wouldn't spawn at the barracks so they could start the next story mission.
That happened to me once. That happened to me twice, I think. One with Gwyn for one of the final missions, and one for L because I wanted to do his affinity mission, and L just wasn't there. Or like L, I wanted to go to his shop, and then I wanted to do his mission, but then he wasn't there, and I just changed the time, and then he was there. I was like, why?
I have a question. Can I ask a question to the Xenoblade? My last Xenoblade games were Xenogears and Xenosaga.
Oh. Mike, you played Gears?
I played Gears and I played the entire.
Did you beat the game?
Yeah, I beat all the. Well, yeah, those games are super old, like PlayStation 1.
Dude, I beat Xenogears this year.
Yeah.
It's so good.
First of all, I'm so sorry that you beat Xenogears. I'm kidding.
So right now we have how many Xeno games are in on Switch right now? What, 4 or 5?
Every Xenoblade game is on Switch. It's 4 games.
4 games. So for those who would like to start playing, now that we have all these games on Switch, for those who want to start playing from the beginning, where do you recommend they start? Is the Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition supposed to be the first edition?
Yeah,
first
Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition is the first. Yeah.
I would say that you could play 1 or 2 in any order, but you want to play 3 after having played the other 2.
I would say personally, play 1 before 2.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to say why, but to me it was more impactful to play 2 after 1. But if you want to play 2 before 1, you can, and it won't like mess anything up in terms of continuity. But I would say play those extra stories after the base games, like play Future Connected after 1, play Torn of the Golden Country after 2. Like don't listen to people when they say it's a prequel played before. No. I would not recommend playing Torn of the Golden Country before 2.
I had freaking people in my comments telling me that, like, why didn't you do Torn of the Golden Country first? I was like, because it has endgame spoilers for the base game, like at the very beginning.
Yeah, it has spoilers, and just the whole like you have to have context of Xenoblade 2 to go into Torn of the Golden Country, and then Future Redeemed, you have to have context of everything before playing it, even though it's a prequel, but
the original intention for Torna was that it was going to be a chapter at the end of Xenoblade 2, and they just didn't have time to fit it in.
It was actually going to be in between chapter 7 and 8. So after Rex and everyone falls into Moritha, it was going to cut to Jin's story in Torn of the Golden Country. I think.
They just felt like it wasn't working because they needed more time, and also they didn't have the development resource to make it happen. So in this trailer that we're seeing right now, instantly the character models look a lot better. I think X had the nicest looking environments in the series, and it was just kind of a shame that the humans looked very plasticky, and I don't know, something about the way the light hit them just didn't.
The smiles were weird. I didn't like their smiles.
Yeah, I don't think the character models were like bad for the time or anything. Like plenty of games had a plasticky look back then, but I'm glad that they changed the character models though, because they were definitely the weak part of the game visually.
Yeah.
The environments, the robots, all those things looked fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
How's the voice acting throughout the entire series, like from all the games on?
Freaking excellent!
Because I interviewed
you interviewed Harry McIntyre. Yeah, I remember that.
And so he told me that he was in a previous game. Like, don't tell me what game you're in. I know you're in this one. What other game is he in?
Harry McIntyre?
Yeah.
I don't think Harry McIntyre voiced in another Xeno game before.
He told me he was in another one. Yeah, he was in another one.
He's streaming Xenoblade 1 right now, so he might be like, surprise, I'm this NPC here. Maybe. I don't know. Yeah. But the voice acting is consistently good throughout the series. X is a special case because it is the one game that was localized in America, so you don't have as much British voices, if not any. I don't think anyone is British in X, right?
The alien races have British voices.
Oh yeah, Luxor is British.
Yeah, it makes sense for them for a lot of the voice to be American though, because like the people are canonically from Los Angeles.
New LA, yeah. I like the new look. I think Elma and Lynn have changed the most because like Cross and Lao look almost the same to me, but I want to see more people. Like I was saying in the video that I made yesterday, like I want to see how like L and Celica and all these like alien races look, like Goetia.
Dude,
All
Celica
the
is so freaking cute.
yeah, yeah. And then well, what else did we see in this trailer? We didn't really see much. We didn't see like combat. We didn't see user interface. We didn't see Frontier Nav.
That's a thing that I want improved. It wasn't a problem for me, but for a lot of people I knew with bad eyesight, they couldn't read the tiny text in the game without like
Yeah.
sitting super close to the screen.
Yeah.
I want them to improve the tiny text.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I started playing it on Wii U. And yeah, I couldn't get through it. I think I got through the cinematic, right, and then like the first little field before you even get to the city. Is it New York City, New York,
New LA, New Los
LA?
Angeles.
Yeah, I know it was the new something because I got to the beginning of the city, like with the entrance, and I couldn't read. I was listening to it because I couldn't see the text. It was just way too small.
Did you try playing it on a Wii U gamepad?
Yep, I got the gamepad right here.
Yeah, playing it on a Wii U gamepad, the text, like if you're doing TV off mode,
Mhm.
the text is like artifacted because it's just so tiny and the resolution cannot support it.
Man, I'm gonna need Braille on the gamepad because it's not working out for me.
Like it actually has trouble rendering because the text is so small and it just doesn't have the
Crazy.
resolution for it.
Yeah. Yeah, when I was doing Frontier Nav stuff, like installing probes and stuff, I had to like hold it up very close to my face.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, also, I don't like that the definitive edition text is red. It should have been blue. I don't know why they did that.
Maybe they'll update before that launch. I guess to be fair, the original X had a red logo originally, and then it got updated to blue as time went on. So
Yes.
this wouldn't be the first time.
The original X logo looked like Xenogears.
Mm-hmm. A lot of people thought it was like some Xenogears related project or something like that early on
because of the mechs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What else? with this? Yeah.
I really want to like temper expectations a little bit because I think a lot of people go into this game expecting it to have story on par with Xenoblade 1 or, the rest of the series now that's happened since. And it just isn't that kind of game. It's very exploration focused. You will get more out of the story from playing the side content. I cannot stress enough that you want to meet all the characters and do all their affinity missions and everything. That is where the game really shines. But
that's where a lot of the story and character stuff comes in, yeah.
If you just play the main story, it's just okay. It's like it's one of the few games I've played where I can honestly say the side quests are better story-wise than the main plot. It has some of the best side quests in the entire series.
Let me ask you this. Do you prefer, what kind of side quests do you like the best? Do you like Xenoblade X Affinity Missions, Xenoblade 2 Blade Quests, or Xenoblade 3 Hero Quests?
Probably the Hero Quest, because later on they cross over into each other in ways that I didn't expect. I liked that so much, and it made the world feel so connected. Yeah,
Hero Quests are fun. I enjoyed those. I liked Affinity Missions too, because you had like maybe like 3 for each character, and I think they were fun. I think I like Hero Quests a little bit better, but Affinity Missions and Blade Quests have the problem where you kind of have to grind Affinity to get them, which
they're kind of a pain to unlock, and also I kind of don't like how Blade Quests, they almost never tie into like any lore or anything like that. The closest thing that I can think of is Percival's old gang is mentioned in Torna once, but you could basically remove the Blade Quest from the game and nothing really changes from the story. Not to say they're not good standalone stories though, but they don't connect to other things as well as the Affinity Missions in Axe or the Hero Quests in 3.
Yeah. Ooh, Luxon's breakdown just dropped. I'll check that out later. I wonder how long it is, but
he'll somehow mine like an hour of talking out of this trailer that's exclusively cutscene footage.
It is an hour and 18 minutes long. I knew it.
It's just footage. It's just cutscene footage that we've already seen from a game that's been out for a decade, and he somehow.
You know what's hilarious is before Xenoblade 3 came out, I like Snapchatted one of my friends that I was watching a Luxon video. And they're like, how does anyone have 2 hours to talk about a single trailer? And I'm like, dude, this is Xenoblade. Like, there's always going to be stuff that, like, no one's going to find in, like, the first 5 viewings of the trailer.
Yeah, I'm gonna gloat a little bit because but I'm not sure if you guys
Oh yeah, I saw you predicted it
Your
my
prediction,
little,
yeah.
yeah. You
with
see,
Super Mario Odyssey 2.
well, this could
Ooh.
be the trailer for the next 3D Mario. Cause I'm
Okay.
pretty sure
Okay.
by this time we know about the Nintendo Switch 2 and stuff
Yes.
around that time. But yeah, I
We,
mean,
we will definitely know about the Nintendo Switch 2
by March,
before we have Xenoblade Chronicles X on our
yeah.
Switch.
I would be shocked if the reveal is the final
Yeah.
week of March. That would be crazy.
Can you
I'm
imagine?
so hoping that the Switch 2 will run Switch 1 games in 4K. Like that would just be awesome.
Yeah, with the AI upscaling, it's possible.
Stash, you got any thoughts on Xenoblade Chronicles X?
I'm excited for it. I'm waiting for the pre-order to drop that's not from Nintendo
Yeah.
so I can get it at a reasonable time.
Yeah.
You know, I'm hoping I can be able to at least go to the store and pick it up at maybe Best Buy, at Walmart.
I think that's what I'm gonna do too, because I don't want to do it from VGP or Nintendo, because it'll get like very heavily delayed.
I don't pre-order from GameStop. I
Yeah.
actually I have a whole system when
Mhm.
it comes to pre-ordering. The first I do is I go to Walmart if it's launch day and I want to get the game. They're across the street and they open at 6 a.m. I'm up
Mhm.
every day at 4 a.m. So when 6 a.m. rolls around, I want to go get the game.
You gotta
If
see
they
that.
don't have it, then it's Target who opens at 8. If they don't have it, then it's Best Buy who opens at 10. And
Yep.
GameStop's last because they open at noon.
Ooh.
Are you
Wow.
kidding me?
Noon? Damn.
Noon. They're open from 12 to 8. Literally, whoever opens and closes is an 8-hour shift.
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
Yeah, classic GameStop as
Wow.
far as corporate goes.
Wow.
Yeah, so at any rate, that's why I don't go to GameStop. So I know you mentioned them, but that is my reasoning for not going there. But yeah, I'm very excited for it. You know, I played both Xenoblades. I played Xenoblade on Wii when it came out, and I like it much more on Switch. I didn't really love the controls on the Wii.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I can imagine.
it wasn't very it was just like when
Unless you played
Galaxy
a
came
classic
out.
controller, I imagine.
I was about to say it's intended for classic controller and not for Wiimote Nunchuck.
Yeah, I didn't use the Wii and Nunchuck. I definitely used my classic controller, but still,
Yeah.
I thought the controls were much better on the Switch. And
It's still weird. It's best if you have back bumpers so you can like change your arts while moving around. Yeah.
yeah, no, it
Yeah.
is definitely because that was the part that was troublesome was the arts. And then yeah, for Chronicles X, man, I haven't played it since it came out. I didn't get to play it a ton because at that time in my life, I was working probably 65, 70 hours a week.
What?
And just,
Doing what?
yeah, I did that for like 20 years managing
What did you manage?
Islands Restaurant.
You did tell me. I forgot about that.
And then 10 years, I was the director of
Yeah.
operations for Loan Depot Mortgage Company,
Yeah, I
second
knew that.
largest lender in the United States. So clearly I was freaking busy all the time. I had over 700 employees that reported to me in India. I also had my teams in Arizona and California. So yeah, dude, I was just very, very busy. So
No time for
just did-
JRPGs.
you know, it's like my heart was always there. You guys know how it is. I think everyone in chat knows how it is when you really want to play these games, but like life happens, work happens,
Yeah.
your heart's there, but the time isn't. And that's why as you get older, time is the greatest currency. Money can be made. We all know that money can be made, but it's all about the time.
Yep.
If you
Yeah.
got the time, man, because it turns into the biggest currency. So I am excited now as I'm approaching 40 years old to return back to Xenoblade Chronicles X and give it a fair shake this time.
Yeah.
So
I think many of you guys here, like on the podcast and in the chat, any of you guys who love Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, I think you guys will really vibe with this game. Like not for like any of like maybe the creative stuff and the puzzle solving, but this game, I genuinely think this, and I keep saying this whenever I like mention it in a video. I feel like without Xenoblade Chronicles X, Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom wouldn't be the games they are today, because like when I played it, I played X in 2022, I think, and that was before Tears of the Kingdom, but after playing like hundreds and hundreds of hours of Breath of the Wild. But doing all the exploration, the frontier nav stuff, and installing all the probes and finding all the stuff and doing all these like points of interest, like exploration and all that, it really gave me that Breath of the Wild exploration spark. And I was like, I never felt this way in any other open world game. Like, I hadn't felt it in like Horizon or Ghost of Tsushima or any other game like that. And then it just clicked with me in X, and I was like, the verticality, the exploration, how it doesn't tell you where to go, but you have to find it yourself. And when you find it yourself, you're like, whoa, it's like it's very, very rewarding, and it like lends in all the way like directly into how you're speccing your character and where your character is going, and like your progression system in the game. So
you also get to make your own character, and you can
Yeah.
like decide like what type of character they're going to be in battle and all that, and you can also change classes whenever you want.
Yes, it's kind of got a job system, not like your typical.
You learn new arts by getting to know people.
Yes, it's not like your Bravely Default or Final Fantasy or even like Metaphor Refantasio job system, but it's got its own spin on it, which is cool. I like it. And yes, you learn new arts and skills by doing those quests and meeting new people and stuff. It's a very, very great gameplay loop. I think like I think all Xenoblade games are like 10 out of 10s. They're all fantastic. If I were to rank them, I might put X near the bottom, but that's only because of the story, and like the story of 1, 2, 3 are just so impactful to me. Even Xenogears, like those stories are very, very impactful to me. I love them so much. But X, I will like confidently say, gameplay wise, it is maybe either number 1 or like a close number 2 behind Xenoblade 3 in future.
I feel like movement and platforming never felt as good as it did in X, specifically, where just exploring the world felt fantastic.
I remember like I would play a bit of X, and then I went back to like Future Redeemed, I think, because like I played a bit of X before Future Redeemed, and then I was like, oh, it's so stiff. I'm not jumping high enough.
I'll tell you the thing that I want changed in this game so much, though, that is related to exploration. I want the ability to turn off the flight music.
Oh,
I can't stand how once you gain the ability to fly, you lose your jump button.
Yeah, and every time you do a short hop, you hear, don't worry about the future, it's so... Every time you just do a short hop.
A few notes, like, all the time, and it interrupts the area theme, and the area theme starts over from the beginning every time that you land, and it's like, I just want to hear the Noctilum theme while I'm flying through those trees. Is that so much to ask?
It's so goofy. Yeah.
Let me ask you guys.
Because the Skell song is like that, but then Overdrive, you hear like less than 15 seconds of it because your Overdrive is done in like that short of a time.
Being able to turn off the Overdrive theme would be good too, because it goes over unique boss themes, which is kind of the same problem Chain Attacks have in 3.
Yeah. I'm still surprised they didn't patch that out in Xenoblade 3.
I wish I had time to play RPGs, because in my RPG era was my 20s, because that's when I think the PS1 was out, and yeah, I'm that old. So I went everything that had Square Enix on it and it had RPG. I was already on it.
That's what I'm at now. I'm in my RPG phase, and I'm also like binging a lot of classic SquareSoft games. Like I did Final Fantasy IX this year.
Yeah,
I did Xenogears this year. I'm gonna do Chrono Cross soon as well. I'm looking forward to that.
Oh, good. The PS1 era makes me sad because Square Enix alone was putting out like 3 or 4 games a year, and they were all amazing.
Yeah.
And we will just never hit that level of output again, because everything's got to have the best graphics ever and have to take 9 years to develop.
Square is a shadow of their former self. I literally, like, I think last week, I put out a video where I was like, Square Enix is disappointing me, because like compare them to Monolith Soft and Atlas, they're a shadow of their former self. Like they're like the games they're putting out are good, but the way they're going right now is just not sustainable. Comparing them to Atlas and Monolith Soft, and
it's definitely not sustainable. You want to know why? because they never hit their sales goals.
Yeah, those
Never.
16 remake, rebirth, they cost ungodly amounts of money to make, and of course they're never gonna like meet the demands.
I heard the Rebirth had lousy sales. Is that true?
Mhm.
It's sort of like
They're
not
not-
necessarily lousy, but it didn't
Sells what they wanted.
meet expectations.
Okay,
Yeah.
so like, I don't run a multi-billion-dollar corporation, but like, is it just me, or is calling something Final Fantasy VII Remake and having it not be a remake the best
It's
business
not.
decision to get people to buy the sequel?
It's completely different. It's not a remake.
I think
Yeah,
the
I
tough
know,
part
just-
is that it's broken
I-
up into 3 games.
When I heard that it wasn't a remake, I just didn't get it. I'm like, I'll just play the original.
Yeah.
I love it, but I think the problem is that a lot of people are waiting for all 3 of them to be out and to play all 3 of them, and a lot of people, from what I've read, are holding out for a complete edition.
Mhm. Makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like they
I mean,
they
part of the
want
reason
to just
I-
wait to play it all.
Yeah, they don't want to like get to the end and be like, "Oh, that's not actually the end of the game." See
I
you
know-
next time.
In PS1 era, they had 3 different discs, right? That is like as they came like a little pack with 3 discs.
Yeah.
I'm like, I didn't know they were literally gonna make.
I still have it behind me.
And they literally make they're literally dividing it in parts.
There was rumors that Final Fantasy IX would be in multiple parts, and like that's when I was like, no, hell no,
Oh, no,
they can't
they-
do that. Because the thing is, I'm forgiving with 7 because 7 has a compilation, and what they're trying to sort of do is kind of bring everything from the compilation into one game, or not one game, everything from the compilation into 3 games, one retelling of Final Fantasy. But 9 doesn't have anything like that, so it's kind of pointless to do a remake of 9 in 3 parts. Like no matter how big 9 is, the
Yeah.
like the quality and like the thing that stands out so much with 9 is that it is like a grand epic adventure you experience from like
Yeah.
beginning to end.
Yeah, 9's one of my favorite. I like the art style. The
Yeah.
more cartoonish with Zane and the little tail and
Yeah.
everything. And then I had a little crush on the princess.
Yeah,
Christiana-
Garnet.
Garnet, yeah.
I think. I mean, look, Square. You know, they've already. I think they feel like they figured out what they're going, what the solution is for their sales problem. No more exclusive games. Basically, their words.
Yep.
To bringing everything multi-platform. Yeah, when you bring Final Fantasy VII remake and rebirth over to Switch 2, it'll probably sell decent over there.
Do you remember when people were furious about Final Fantasy going multi-platform, being, no, that's a Sony series, Xbox shouldn't have it?
Oh, when I heard people bitching about that, I'm like, oh my god! All right, for starters,
You are actually mad that more people are getting to play the
more
game you
people get to
like.
play a game. Final Fantasy 1 through 6 wasn't on Sony.
Nintendo.
You guys
Yeah.
are aware. You know, other Final Fantasies since 7 have been multi-platform. What are we doing?
Final Fantasy VII was released on PC back in the day, too.
Yeah, it was.
It was not a PS1 exclusive.
Yeah.
No, I mean, look, you know, it is what it is. Rebirth was fantastic. I'm almost done with it. I definitely like it a lot more than Final Fantasy 16. Not a fan of 16. I don't know what they're doing with modern Final Fantasy right now. It's just not good.
I didn't really hear anything about 16.
It's just the combat is just very stale. It just doesn't seem to get better the more of it I play, and that's just kind of frustrating. And I don't know. It's just I don't want to dive. I don't want to shit all over Final Fantasy because again, there's a lot of people who love Final Fantasy, including 16.
Play Xenoblade instead.
Yeah, play Xenoblade inside.
If you want a true RPG adventure,
even if you guys have never played a Xenoblade game, pick up X. Come on.
X is
Yeah.
a fine place to
Yeah.
start.
X is a good place to
connected
start,
the rest of the
yeah.
series.
Yeah, X is one where you do not need to have played the prior games at all.
It also might not be the worst game to start with, though, because that way you don't have like high expectations for the storytelling. And you can just enjoy the characters.
I feel like it's a great game. I feel like, like when Mike was asking, I'm like, nah, start with X because 1, you don't have the expectations. 2, I like-
expectations. Sorry.
yeah,
ah,
I feel like the gameplay a little bit better in X than the other ones, but then the other ones make up for it with the crazy story. So
yeah, exactly. And X's story to me isn't bad,
no, it's not
but
bad
it
at
was
all.
just it was just kind of incomplete, and there were like I'm gonna get like a little in like the weeds here with Xenoblade, but like Takahashi has this like formula he follows, like perfect works as they call it, and X parallels perfect works quite a bit, but it's not like as in your face as Xenoblade 2 and 3 are. So it's still got that Xeno DNA to it. So if you play X and you like Xenoblade 1, 2, and 3, you're still going to get that Xenoblade experience, but it's not going to be as whimsical and adventurous as like a Klaus game is. But yeah,
It's very much sci-fi.
it is very sci-fi. Like I haven't played Xenosaga yet, but like getting acclimated to X once again could be my like jumping off point into Xenosaga.
Sure.
Yeah. Oh, one more thing I wanted to say about Xenoblade X before we move on or discuss something else is to anyone who has played Xenoblade Chronicles 3 Future Redeemed. I actually made a video about this last year when Future Redeemed came out and I was playing it, and after I beat it I made this video, but there's this one concept in Future Redeemed. It's actually the main gameplay loop. It's called Affinity Goals or something. That is basically Frontier Nav, but expanded and evolved into like a new approachable concept. So if you guys have played Future Redeemed, if you remember the Affinity Goal system, keep that in mind as you play Xenoblade X, and you'll be like, whoa, this is like the building blocks for everything that they did in the final Xenoblade game. So yeah, good stuff. Yeah, it's still very relevant today.
Yeah. Anyone else want to get some final words in before we go to our next topic? Because I mean, look, we don't honestly talk a lot of Xenoblade on our show. Probably should do it a bit more often.
You should.
Nishquik is like, you should tell me when I will be there. All right, I guess not. Go play the game. March 20th next year. It's a great starter game.
Yeah.
If you're someone that
support the game. It didn't sell 1 million on the Wii U. Yeah. It needs the Switch effect. It needs it. Yes. Go and support it.
You know, whether Switch 2 is out or not, or revealed or not by then, or pre-orders are done. Look, here's the bottom line. Backwards compatibility is probably a thing with Switch 2, so you still play and enjoy the game. And beyond that, hey, let's just be honest. Everyone in the audience, we ain't all getting Switch 2s at launch. Yep. It's just not going to happen.
Depends on the launch lineup.
No. Even if it depends on the launch lineup, there just physically won't be enough of them. A lot of us will still be stuck on Switch. So, play the damn game. I'm just saying, this game needs some love. I want this game to sell very well, because maybe it'll convince them to maybe turn this into its own little side series. Yeah. Because they just wrapped up with 3, and I know they probably already have another one in the works or something crazy going on that isn't related to this. But I'm just saying, if this gets a lot of love, we could see them continue this, which would be a really nice little another Xenoblade series to kind of.
They can definitely do an X2. I feel like whatever. Like, I don't want to talk about the additional story stuff too much because that'll go into spoilers for the main game, but I think that can definitely, one, it can set up for a sequel, and maybe like tie it into the numbered games. I'm not getting my hopes up about that, but like at least setting up for a sequel, I think it most definitely.
Hey, J says that we sold them on it.
or third one, Xenoblade Chronicles XXX.
Yeah.
Triple X. Yep. Like that old movie, Triple X. Anyway, God, did anyone see that movie? That movie was not great back then.
Hey, what about BMX Triple X?
Oh, BMX Triple X.
I have a story.
You remember that game?
Yes.
I have a story about the Triple X movie.
Sure.
So I was in, I think, elementary school when that came out.
Yeah.
And we did a field trip to a movie theater to go watch like this educational film about penguins or something. And all the other, like the movie theater like next to it was showing Triple X. And so a bunch of kids were like, we're going to sneak out and we're going to like watch that. We're just going to say we have to go to the bathroom. We're going to go watch Triple X instead. And like, they won't even notice that we're gone. So kids did that. But the thing is, the teachers anticipated that. And they had one teacher sitting in the Triple X theater, having it not actually show Triple X. It was like set up with the movie theater, and they nailed them and gave those kids detention.
That's awesome. That's funny.
It was brilliant.
That is funny. Here, let's end it with this. I think this is a really good general question from the audience for people who have never played. $2 super chat came in from Boom Any. What is Xenoblade generally about?
Oh, that is a question. That is a loaded question. Do you want to say it first, Chugga? Because I have to think about this.
I was gonna say philosophy.
It is philosophy, identity. It is it's a story about life and existence, but basically it is also, oh man, how do I say this? It is a story about walking towards the future with
Your best friend.
I don't know, dude. It's about so many things. It's about it's about like
Love.
what I just
Life.
said. It's about life, yeah.
Trees.
Yeah.
Babies.
That's a good video idea for like newcomers to the series. Like, what is Xenoblade about? There's a lot of themes that like carry over between the games. Like, of course, Xenoblade 1 is about like looking to the future, and like it's also sort of about living in the present. But then Xenoblade 2 is also about like legacy, looking back at your past and understanding like what happened to your past, learning about how you can like shape your future with that. And then Xenoblade 3 is about like, of course, living in the present as well. But then it's like the story of Ouroboros like shaping the future as well. So
About death.
yeah, it's also a story about how you should it's not a good thing to stagnate in your life.
Mhm.
You have to evolve as a person. I don't know. I'm getting too philosophical and serious right now, but like that's basically what it is.
Story,
And it's a story about philosophy with anime waifus and fun action and amazing music and awesome worlds and exploration. So yeah, it's great.
Blood.
And blood,
War.
I guess.
And blood. Blood and war and very complicated UI systems. And anyways,
Yeah.
it is a lot to throw at you right away. When you first start playing Xenoblade, it's a lot.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, especially in 2 when the onboarding is not very good. But shout out to someone like Chugaaconroy who helped me through Xenoblade 2 with his guides. So yeah.
I have a 10-minute video that teaches you how to play the game because the game sure as heck doesn't teach you how to play the game.
Yeah, I highly suggest checking out that video. The game is very bad at explaining how the systems work and everything.
Xenoblade 2's tutorials lie to you.
They do.
Seems like we need a 4K remaster that fixes the problem.